Newton School massacre raises a familiar question. What makes someone like Adam Lanza snap? With us now, Jeffrey Lieberman. Dr. Lieberman is chairman of the Department of Psychiatry at Columbia University's Medical School. Senior correspondent John Miller is also here. Good morning.
Good morning, Charlie.
The question about this is a question of mental health, the question of what makes someone like this young man snap. Why? Why do they do it?
Well, Charlie, there's two reasons why somebody would commit this unspeakable kind of crime. The first is that they believe that they have to do it. So the psychotic, deranged killer who's delusional and thinks he has to save the world or rid evil and believes his delusions, goes out and does it. Another might be an ideological zealot that believes that he's on jihad and has to do it, like the Fort Hood army major. But the other is somebody who can't control their emotions. Their emotions have overwhelmed their capacity for control, and they're motivated by uncontrollable rage or anger to carry out this kind of crime. And although we know to some degree which kind of individuals may be at risk for not being able to contain their rage, for acting in this way, we cannot predict exactly when they will do it, because when they will do it oftentimes is a result of a random event or a coincidental series of conflicts or altercations of incidents that tips them over the edge.
Why would an individual who would act out this way kill himself in the end? I mean, sometimes they do this for notoriety or for credit, but you have to ask yourself, if you're going to do this and then take your own life, to what end?
Well, we see mass murderers killing themselves at the end of their killing spree, not uncommonly. And what it means is that they have the wherewithal to understand that their life is over after that. I mean, they will spend the rest of their life in jail if they don't get the death penalty. But you don't see that kind of suicide at the end of a killing spree with somebody who's psychotic, like Jared Loughner was after shooting Gabby Giffords, or the Virginia Tech killer.
So what should we do about this?
Well, I think there are several things that are actionable, and the debate that we've heard in the last 48 hours is focused on the first thing, which is gun control. I mean, a lot of these things are impulsive. They're motivated by the welling up of emotion that overcomes a person's ability for control, and they act. If something wasn't immediately available to use to act on, they would be deterred, at least in order to plan it, to get it, and in that time the emotion may dissipate. The other thing is that a lot of the individuals that are doing this have identifiable mental problems. If we had a more proactive, more widely available, a more accessible set of mental health care services in this country, our society would be a lot better off.
One of the debates that goes on here is over the gun control, yet we saw the Columbine massacre right in the middle of the assault weapons ban. So maybe another law isn't really going to be the fix here. It couldn't, not the reason not to do it, but it's not the cure. Is there a question here about who are we as a society where all of our movies have the heroes shooting it up and killing everybody at the end, and that's how we identify who's an effective person? All of our video games that our kids go home and play after school have the operator killing everybody. Is that an influence on these guys?
Yeah, we don't have much time, but it's the culture of violence question.
I do think there's a cultural factor here, and I think the cultural violence is one of them. We're immersed in, I mean, an individual by the time they're 12 years old has seen more murders than somebody who grew up in the 19th century saw forever in their whole lives.
Dr. Lieberman, thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure.